So it's not necessarily that I have any current thoughts right now about Walter. It's just everything that he did, just kind of leads to something else. So really, it's any topic. Like, I don't know if I have the energy to talk about the mathematics regarding another time that he was hacked. I don't even know if he was hacked. I think he was just an idiot. But I think why was he expecting that people would confess to putting duct tape on the walls when he ran screaming through the halls, "Who the hell put duct tape on the walls?" Like we were going to be like Spartacus, like, "No, it was me, Walter. It was me." Obviously, we're not going to tell him, be like, "Clean it up yourself." But I don't know why. Was that his job? I don't really know, because it didn't say building manager. With, obviously, he hasn't updated his LinkedIn. Not sure why he had. What's the purpose of having a LinkedIn when your only job is the job you got fired from in disgrace and not anything else? So I would say, didn't he understand that his reaction to us putting duct tape on the walls was just going to make us put more duct tape on the walls? And also, why did AZ scream when I wanted to take more lighter fluid for the bonfire? I wasn't going to start. It wasn't like a random, it was a completely, it was like a $3 bottle. AZ, I guess, was what you would call like one of Walter's henchmen, who also had a sense of arrogance of like, that he considered himself like the director of the camp or whatever. Every year they're just like, "Okay, you weirdo, do whatever you want." But there was a bonfire going, and I saw the bonfire was getting low, so I went in to get some lighter fluid. It wasn't like I was just grabbing lighter fluid randomly for no reason during the middle of the day to set fires. I grabbed it for the specific purpose of increasing a fire. And he screamed. I've never heard a human scream that loud. Like I had just killed his family in front of him. He screamed, "No!" Why? And I just put it back because I'm like, and everybody looked, and I'm like, what the hell just happened? Like, what? Why would the operations director, why would he consider of a summer camp have anything to do with inventory management of the lighter fluid for an evening where there was literally a bonfire going on outside, with Ruvain Stein apologizing? And then obviously later, the day when everyone was leaving, I just squeezed like a huge tube of toothpaste into Ruvain Stein's bag, into his suitcase, so that amused me as well. That was he's like, "I hope they forgive me." I'm like, "Sure, buddy." And looking back, I wish I had played more pranks on him, because right now I'm bigger than him, I'm stronger than him, and probably better looking, because he was he was like a hideous ogre, and he should have been canceled. Even back then in 2003, he should have been canceled. Like, nobody at his attempt to be Ruvain Stein was like, I think he was like 18 or 19. He had a full beard or scraggly scruff like this, but worse. And he was like a sort of an ogreish looking dude. And his shtick was that he was an incredibly experienced rapper, except his rap was like, yo, 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 my name is Ruvain Stein, and everyone's like, okay, like, what's next? Are you gonna dress in blackface and drop the N-word a bunch of times? Like, it wasn't, that would be less offensive than his actual rapping. And Ruvain Stein, me and Dr. Simon, we broke a whole can of clean industrial cleaning, and Ruvain Stein thought it would be a good idea to spread a rumor that we were gay. Well, of course, those things can't go unpunished. So when he was asleep, we used sunscreen to write rap on his blankets, and he thought it was something else. And Mark Schwazensky, he looked at me and he's like, I'm bigger than you, I'm stronger than you, I'm better looking. And Mark Schwazensky was like, what is wrong with you? So of course, you know, and at the Kumsitz, he's like, I made a terrible mistake, I hope people forgive me, like not even pointing at the person in general, which was me. So of course I'm like, my only regret about camp, other than obviously it goes without saying, other than spending more time with Walter, would be figuring out just a whole month's worth of pranks for Ruvain Stein to just drive him insane. But he's like a very minor character, sort of. He's more important than Rabbi Kibbles in bits, but he's sort of like, and he's more important than like an Avi Gruen or Adam Block, but he's less important than Yitz, aka Yutz. So I would say obviously you have Walter as the overarching most important character. Then a notch below him was Schimmel. And Schimmel, that's there, without going into too much detail, let's say there could be a whole other series on Schimmelology. But, and then I guess below that would be like Yitz and other sort of recurring characters. Like they wouldn't be in the starring credits. But let's get back to AZ. And is it because he thought he was in charge of inventory management? Because if he was, wouldn't he have put that on his stupid thing where he just talked about, he addressed people like he was the president? You know what I mean? So I really, if he was in charge of inventory, and again, it wasn't like I took like 15, I don't know, it wasn't, I took a relevant item for a relevant event of something that was this size of lighter fluid, and yet he screamed like I had just killed his family. Why? Was he afraid of Walter? Or did we not know that, or was it one of those things where he had already decided to be like head of logistics and inventory management the next year, so he had to, in the scrolls, so he had to change that? I don't know. That just shows you the terror that even people peripherally associated with Walter had to deal with. Also, why do I remember Walter and not Moose? Like, I remember, you know, unfortunately Moose, he passed away. I assume Walter was not the caterer at the funeral, you know, because he was dismissed in disgrace. But why did Walter care so much about things that were incredibly unimportant when he spent so much time? And again, yes, the AI line, arrogant Camp Cook thinks he's a king, wasting his time on useless things, but that goes into his whole life. Why did he take more time trying to find Dr. Simon over a trade than he did to open up an entire business. So again, it's just one of those things that it was like this school was more of like, I guess what you would call like an insane asylum. And how did Walter have a job there for so many years when it was like open? It wasn't even a secret that he was a drunkard and that he was embezzling. He was a violent embezzler, drunk, who wasn't even good at his job. So, I mean, I guess this will fall under, I guess I'll title this side characters and AZ, and I don't even know, but really this all comes down to like I think people walking on eggshells around Walter, not in a metaphorical way, but because the campers just threw a bunch of eggs on the ground and everybody had to walk on eggshells.